Hey guys, it's Steve from Exploding Dice Gaming here, and welcome to this hobby video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I've bought a Forge World Keeper of Secrets, and I'm going to go through and show you at each stage what I'm doing in order to actually build the model and put it together. Give you guys some basic information on things to keep in mind when you're building models from Forge World. So, when you get a kit through from Forge World, you're going to be excited. You're going to want to open it up because you've got a nice shiny new model. You're going to want to put it together, paint it up and get it on the board as soon as possible. But I implore you, take your time, try and resist the urge to do everything all at once, because there's a few things you need to bear in mind. Forge World use a particular type of resin for building their kits, rather than the plastic that Games Workshop use. It's a different material that requires that has different requirements when you're working with it. So we'll do a little bit of an unboxing video first, and I'll show you some of the things that you need to look out for when you're getting a kit through from Forge World. So let's open this up and have a look at what we've got. So we have an invoice, which I will not be showing you. We have a guide to building resin model kits. Now this is something that Forge World have sort of fairly recently started doing. Certainly when I first started building Forge World models I never got anything like this. But it's actually pretty good. It's got some information in here about some tools that you'll need. It gives you some advice on things like preparation, how to clean up mold lines, cutting off the gates, cleaning shims, that sort of thing, and it gives you also some advice on warping, which I'll go through again. There's actually really good information. So if you've not built a Forge World kit before, strongly advise you read through this, because it will give you some good hints and tips. Next we have our parts list, which also doubles up as our instructions in this case. So Forge World are actually quite notorious for their instructions. You don't get the sort of thing that you get like with the Citadel miniatures. With Forge World, quite often it's just a case of black and white pictures of what the model should look like when it's finished, and you kind of have to work everything else out for yourself. So you can see right away that Forge World assumes a somewhat more advanced knowledge of building model kits, so that's something to keep in mind. But the most important thing here is the parts list, because you need to make sure that you've got everything that you need before you actually start working on this. So put that to one side, and then we've got the important stuff in the box, which are your baggies of resin. And this is how a Forge World model kit comes. So no real decent instructions, no flashy boxes or anything like that. Just bags of resin and black and white pictures of what your kit should look like. That's kind of what you should really be expecting. So what you want to do first of all, once you've got everything out of the box, is you want to take all the components out of the bags and check them against the components list that you've got. And you're looking for a few things here. First off, you're looking to make sure that you've actually got all of the parts that are supposed to come with the kit. And secondly, you're looking for any parts that have been damaged in transit or that haven't been formed properly in the mould. Now Forge World's quality control is actually really good, but things do still occasionally fall through the cracks. So it's always a good idea to just check all these things and make sure you've got everything you need and that everything looks good. So what you're looking for in terms of things to inform Forge World about are things that have been miscast. So if there's any things where like air bubbles have formed in the miniature itself and has obscured any of the detail, you're looking for that sort of thing. Just to clarify, I've pre-checked all of this stuff and it all looks good, but I'll just go through and tell you what kind of stuff you need to look for anyway. So you're looking for any air bubbles that might have formed, any parts that haven't fully formed properly, also anything that has been damaged in transit. So things like clean brakes. So say for example, if the if one of the legs are broken off or something like that, then that's obvious that's been damaged in transit. And any parts that have been obviously miscast. So, for example, if you had a big sort of air bubble or something in there, then that's worth keeping in mind. If you do find anything like that, basically what you're looking for is anything you can't easily fix yourself. If you do find anything like that, then take a photo of it and contact Forge World, and they'll be more than happy to recast the part for you. I have heard of occasions where people have gotten whole additional, like a whole replacement kit sent out to them rather than just the broken components recast, but it tends to be quite rare that there is anything wrong with the models. So don't think you're going to get lucky with that sort of thing. But it has happened from what I've heard, so something to bear in mind. But as I say, Forge World are usually perfectly happy to certainly recast any components that might not be formed properly. Now, one thing to say about resin as a material is warped components. So anything that's long and thin, like this sword for example, there's a good chance it's going to arrive to you warped. Now this is actually easily correctable yourself by using some hot water or a hairdryer, and you literally just heat it up and bend it back into shape, and I'll show you how to do that in a future video. So don't worry about if there's any sort of long thin components that have been warped, because you can easily repair those yourself. And things like this, these hair tendrils here, where on the pictures of the kit themselves they're obviously bent like this, but they come straight. Again, using the same technique to straighten out the sword, you can use that to bend these components as well, and I'll show you how to do that. So once you've gone through and checked everything, you're happy that it's good, and these, as I said, these components look alright to me. You need to give all these parts a wash. No, I'm not joking, and also it's a step that you really don't want to miss, for reasons that I'll explain in a minute. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next part.